Another day, another video. With the impending release of Assassin's Creed Red, I just wanted to talk about my concerns with it. I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I've played Origins, I've played Odyssey, but much like Odyssey, I 100%ed Valhalla, and it took me 165 hours for everything. And I'll be real with you, I don't think that game has that kind of content. I make the argument that it barely has 60 hours worth of content. It's just really bad. I can't recommend this game. I don't recommend it. I think it's a really bad, poorly designed game. We're going to talk about why. There's a lot of issues I have with games nowadays. It's either they're aggressive with microtransactions, or they don't respect the player's time, looking at you kill the Justice League, live service slop, showing us why live service games shouldn't be a thing. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla just didn't have anything worthwhile to me, and I really played the shit out of Odyssey. Difference between Odyssey and Valhalla is it did not feel like a chore to play. It did not feel like a slog to get through. I enjoyed the story. The characters like Cassandra and Alexei were fantastic. I thought Cassandra's story and Alexei's story was well done. I think hunting down the Order of the Ancients and having that big reveal, the reveal of who was leading it all, I did not see coming. Took her out, by the way, because that's the right thing to do. Like, it did a lot for me, even if it did feel like a grind at times. But even then, that grind did not feel like a slog like Valhalla did. Valhalla just had so much wrong with it. Like, the characters like Eivor, Sigurd were just not that interesting or entertaining. I didn't really vibe with them like that, and I just couldn't really stand the character, honestly. I couldn't stand Eivor. Like, I feel like as far as protagonists go, he's kind of the most bland and boring. Like, he's no Ezio, he's no Edward Kenway, he's no Connor, he's no Altair, but I expected more from a Viking, and it just was disappointing in the long run. But I have a lot of concerns for Red. One of the biggest concerns is, of course, how aggressive microtransactions will most definitely be. I feel like I don't remember much about Origins. I haven't played it in a few years, but I played it, enjoyed it. I don't think I ever finished it. A lot going on in my life during that time, and I just don't really, vibe with it. It's just not my favorite game. But I don't think it was bad like Valhalla. I think the microtransactions are going to be even worse this time around when Assassin's Creed Red hits, because there's rumors of customization, a lot of customizations. You're going to have new hideouts to work on, not just a singular place to focus on, which honestly I felt like the Ravensthorpe was pretty terrible to do. Like, that just took forever to finish, painfully boring to be around. I hardly was ever there except to start the next quest line. But no, I'm expecting microtransactions to be even more aggressive. I'm expecting them to have multiple tiers of XP boost. I'm expecting them to have just a whole lot more resource packs to choose from, probably even have more resources. I feel like if your game is designed around a slow grind and you feel like you absolutely have to have an XP boost, I feel like that's bad game design. I feel like I never had that issue with Odyssey where I needed to buy the XP boost. I felt like I was proceeding with levels at a pretty decent pace. Like, I remember that I was hunting one of the Order of the Ancients and I needed to boost up a little bit more, and it took me a little while, but I eventually got to that point where I could. Valhalla is a slow grind, and it's a very awful grind, and I'm just not a fan of it. Like, if you are incentivizing your players to get XP boost, then you've lost the plot. I don't think that's how you design a game. In fact, I think that's just poor game design. I don't think it's the developer's fault. I think it's the greedy CEO that wants his second house and his fourth yacht. That's just me. I feel like microtransactions are a disease, and they'll continue to be a problem if we don't do something about it. Not that we can. Speak with a wallet, I guess, but when does that ever work out? And then we've talked a bit about the microtransactions. There's a lot wrong with, like, the open world being 5 world spaces. I'm expecting Ubisoft to tout it's twice as big as Valhalla, with twice the world spaces and twice the amount of collectibles, and I will probably vomit if I hear that. I feel like Odyssey was the right size. It took me 86 hours to fully complete the base game. I never touched the DLC. I don't know, just DLC I will hardly ever touch unless I really feel invested to do so. And Valhalla is just bloated. There's no other way to say it. It's a bloated piece of hot mess, and it's just disappointing. Some of the stuff was okay. I thought the seeing stones was fun. The hallucinogenic mushrooms were cool till it just became about fighting enemies. Fuck Karen Stones, whoever made that. I hope you step on a Lego. There's just so much wrong with it. I feel like the world events were a massive downgrade in every shape, way, or form of every previous Assassin's Creed that has side quests ever. That's just me. You may have enjoyed it, but I thought they were an absolute downgrade from, like, say, Odyssey or Origins. And the open world is just an absolute mess and a disappointment in every sense of the word, which is why I think Assassin's Creed Red will be even worse, have a lot more problems with it and a lot more issues with it. I'm honestly not really expecting a lot of it, to be honest. It's just going to be absolutely dreadful. There was nothing eye-catching about England, Norway, none of it just felt like, oh look, a rolling hill, oh look, Roman architecture, oh look, a mountain. Just really disappointing, which kind of leads me into my next thing, which is the story is just lackluster, boring, and bland. I've never really hated Assassin's Creed protagonists. I've generally loved everyone that I played, even Arnor. No, that's not what I was saying. I can't remember the guy during the French Revolution, but I liked him. Cassandra Alexei, fantastic. Ezio Altair, Edward Kenway Connor, fantastic characters. Eivor is boring. I thought his entire thing with his brother just felt very bland, and I didn't feel anything from it. I started feeling something for him when I was at Vinland Saga. That's like 30 hours into the story. That's just bad and disappointing. Assassin's Creed is only as good as its main cast of characters. I think Odyssey Origins had fantastic characters. Valhalla had none of those things. I think the most interesting characters were King Eofred and Basim Loki, and it's crazy that we're not going to see any sort of a continuation of that in the main games. They're going to put it in their hub, which honestly, I just think that's going to be bad. I also think Assassin's Creed Red is going to be the last genuine Assassin's Creed game before they all become live service slop. I'm expecting it. You should too. Ubisoft's current CEO is a absolute rube, and we should all be very, very afraid. He says Skull and Bones should definitely be $70 when arguably worth probably 30, 40, if that. I'd say 20 as long as it's been in development hell. But there's just so much wrong with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm expecting all the worst qualities of Valhalla to be even worse in Assassin's Creed Red, and you should expect that at this point. Don't let them fool you with eye-catching stuff, what it's going to have, because you should expect the worst from Ubisoft, especially they're not the company they were 3 years ago, much less 5 or 6. There's just a lot I'm dreading at this point for Assassin's Creed Red, and if Valhalla is anything to go by, you can expect it to be twice as long, even more overbloated, with lackluster characters that you will probably forget within a day after completing. But that's kind of it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed this, it's a lot shorter, trying to make them shorter because I know people's time is money. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, helps your boy get in the algorithm. If you're feeling super generous, consider subscribing, turning on notification bells. Let me know down below what you thought of Valhalla if you played it. Also, let me know if you're concerned for Assassin's Creed Red. Let me know all that down below. As always, internet, I love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.